Get you up to date with all the news from around the sport and bring you a full preview to the 5th round of the WRC on the stunning Sardinian stages.
It is tricky, so, but if you're going to be the best, you have to accept some accidents.
Welcome back. A full preview to round 5 on the stunning island of Sardinia is coming up shortly, but first a rundown of all the news from around the sport. The Italian round of the 2011 FIA World Rally Championship has a record-breaking 20 new generation World Rally cars set to tackle the Sardinian stages. Outside the regular runners, it is the long-awaited WRC return of the Mini Works team, providing most interest. But alongside Chris Meek and Danny Sordo, there are also private WRC Mini entries for Daniel Oliveira and Armindo Arrojo, as well as a WRC debut in a Mini John Cooper Works for PWRC frontrunner Patrick Flodin. Also returning to WRC action is P.G. Anderson, who showed impressive pace on the way to a 7th place finish at his home event in Sweden. And Russian youngster Evgeny Novikov, who was running 5th in Mexico until a damaged radiator forced him out, is also back. The duo's inclusion brings Stobart M Sports line-up to a bumper 5 entries. It is expected that there will be even more WRC machines competing in the not-too-distant future. Volkswagen, who last appeared in top-level rallying 21 years ago, have tantalisingly invited the world's media to a press conference in the build-up to the Rally Italia to announce a spectacular new chapter in the motorsport history of the German manufacturer. And finally, with road order tactics again coming to the fore at the end of day 1 in Jordan, the FIA is apparently considering a change of regulation ahead of the Sardinian round to reverse the running order on rallies.
19 seconds, 19 seconds.
Have to wait so long?
Yes, 15 seconds.
At the moment, the cars run in championship order on day 1 and rally order on days 2 and 3, but before 2008, the top 15 crews after the first day were reversed until the end of the event, meaning road order tactics were not necessary. For round 5 of the 2011 championship, we switch our attention to the island of Sardinia and the Rali d'Italia. First run in 1970, for over 30 years, the San Remo-based round had spectacular roads and fanatical supporters, but the intoxicating mix would ultimately prove the event's downfall.
Well, Rally San Remo, in the past, it was run on both on gravel and tarmac surface. The gravel was run in Toscana area, in the mid-Italy, and then tarmac stages were used in north of Italy, near San Remo. So there was a lot of traveling.
And then, of course, they ran the all-tarmac rally around San Remo. And in fairness, there were difficulties with the volume of cars and the spectators, and of course, it was at the point in time when they were looking for more gravel events in the championship.
So they had a Costa Smeralda, which had been always a very famous rally, and with experience from that, they were able to quite quickly turn it out to be a World Championship event and get it full on the gravel in Sardinia.
And the Sardinian gravel would provide a very different challenge from the twisty mountain tarmac roads above San Remo.
It's very narrow and lots of rocks and pushes and lots of stuff to hit if you make a mistake. You can't say that there's a clear line beside the road all the time to follow. There can be rocks or kind of a dip or kinks and stuff like that. And lots of pushes as well that you can't see behind the corner.
Yeah, it's quite slippery and narrow, so it's important to be very precise in the driving style.
It's much more loose sand in Sardinia. If it's dry, then it's a little bit more problem to be first on the road.
Some of the corners and stuff can take you out very, very quickly. But it's a little bit in a new area now, some new stages, so I'm not sure exactly how it will be. But Sardinia is a great rally, to be honest with you.
Sardinia is probably narrower than what we've seen on most other rallies this year as well. It's quite
sort of narrow and big rocks at the side of the road, so you always have to be a little bit careful about sliding wide or running wide.
As Wilson mentioned, Sardinia may be a beautiful backdrop, but go offline and you can soon come unstuck.
When you're pushing the limits, it's getting like that, and everybody wants to win, and pace notes and the loose sandy surface there it is tricky. So, but if you're going to be the best, you have to accept some accidents.
It can catch you out and bite you quite quickly. We've had a couple of incidents in the past, but you know, we do have a bit of experience of it now. We've done it for quite a few years. I've heard that there's going to be a totally new day as well, where we go down to the south, which stages I've never done before, so that'll be interesting.
The problem is there is a lot of narrow part and with a lot of tree close to the road, and it's easy to touch something and to break something and to get a puncture. So that's the main difficulty of this rally.
It's a challenging round for the new Mini team to debut their new car on, but the return of the iconic brand has been welcomed with open arms.
I think it's absolutely great. You know, this is very good for the sport, and they have a lot of experience, you know, with Pro Drive. Let's hope they will be fast and fighting in the top straight away.
It's great news to get a new manufacturer in the sport, and to have so many people, you know, talking about the WRC again. So that's a real positive for the sport, and I'm looking forward to seeing how competitive they would be.
Both Danny Sordo and Chris Meek are respected figures at the sport's top level.
Obviously, the two are the best out there for sure. It's going to be great to have another Brit there. It's been me on my own for a few years, so that's for sure is going to be a good thing. And I think if you look at the performances that Chris was doing at the end of his days with Subaru, there he was on really good form.
Chris Meek, I know him, and I know he's hungry, and he's working hard. He's very dedicated, great personality, and feet on the floor. And a great guy. I think he will be fast. Sordo, it's been very good over a long time. I think, and I hope for his point of view that he get everything together now for his future.
Both of them are really good drivers. I think Sordo has shown that for many years, and also Chris has shown his pace in the IRC Championship and also in many other rallies. So I think they are really good drivers, and if they can do the development on the car and make the cars really good, I think they can start fighting for the top positions.
Don't forget, you can keep an eye on Mini's Italian job throughout the Rally d'Italia weekend on WRC.com. But for now, from Rally World, it's goodbye.